Hello. Welcome to another installment of the Central American Group's podcast, in which experts discuss topics related to doing business in Costa Rica, El Salvador, and the rest of the region.
Hello. Welcome to another installment of the Central American Group's. In these discussions with professionals from various realms, we talk about issues in Costa Rica, El Salvador, and the rest of the region. Today, we're very fortunate to have with us Karin Lachner. She works for the very well-regarded economic development agency in Costa Rica called Cinde. Hello, Karin, how are you doing today? And please tell us a little bit about yourself and your organizations.
Hi, Stephen. So grateful to be invited here and share a little bit of the thoughts from Cinde. My name is Karin Lachner. I'm the head of marketing and communications for Cinde. Cinde is a private, nonprofit, and non-political organization. So we're a very rare breed within our kind as investment promotion agencies, which mostly and most of the time are part of government. In our case, we work very closely with them, but our private nature has enabled us to work long-term strategies for investment attraction into the country. Now with 10 different government administrations.
Well, one of the things I think that would be very interesting to our listeners is, I know that you recently won a very prestigious award, that was given to Cinde by the UN International Trade Center. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about that. And after that, if you could explain to us what potential investors could expect from your organization in terms of services to help them do their research on Costa Rica.
Of course. Well, yes, we are very humbled by this recognition that the ITC from the United Nations has given us. The ITC, I don't know if some of the listeners are familiar with it, but the ITC is part of the UN. They work hand in hand also with the World Trade Organization, and they focus very much on providing a wide area of capabilities, for example, advisory services and capacity building for different countries, mostly to be able to leverage a lot of that trade intelligence and enhancement of policies, both to help attract investments into countries, as well as create exports capacity. So a lot has to do with that, as well as creating and leveraging now the momentum of digital tools to enhance, for example, e-commerce platforms or digital trade as well. So that's a little bit of their vocational focus, if you would call it. Cinde has been working hand in hand with them for several years. And we have gone through different evaluations. They have this tool. So this is not what we would call a fashion contest. It's actually a very thorough evaluation that we have, and that goes on 225 indicators that were evaluated. So it's a thorough process, as I said, and Cinde is very humbled to have earned a 95.27 score. So it's the highest ranked institution in the world right now out of 85 different agencies that this center has evaluated thus far.
What are some of the variables specifically that they assess?
Yes, well, they have, I would say, like 4 main pillars, and this, of course, are breaking down to more specific areas. But one has to do with the leadership and direction that the institution has. So they oversee things like the vision and mandate, governance, strategy, planning and development, as well as implementation, or also a lot about risk management, of course, which is a newer or heftier area to assess, more so with risk management of unforeseen things such as the pandemic. The other pillar has to do with resources and processes. So how the organization structures itself and capacity building of its staff. as well as, for example, the financial resources or physical assets, or the quality and focus of the services that we provide to investors as well. The third pillar has to do with products and services delivery. So the relevance of the portfolio, how we manage and handle client experiences goes way deeper into this. The marketing and promotion of those services as well, how innovative we are able to be in that area. And a lot of the deployment of that, external communications, country branding, and the like. And the final one has to do with measurement and results, because of course, all of this has to be reflected in solid outcomes. So the way we structure our areas for defining scope or the quality of measurement of the things that we do, client satisfaction is a huge thing for us. So we measure it in several touch points that we have with investors, from initial agendas to RFIs, even when we help them create their inauguration or PR efforts to go once they do the landing into the country. So we measure those through NPS scores, for example. So it's part of the tools that they assess on achievement of results.
Now, what does this all mean for investors, and how does it affect their site selection process?
Well, we at Cinde have a philosophy of being completely client-centered focused. And for us, the investing companies come first. Sometimes that means that it gets us into trickier relations, even with some government instances, but that's what we are here for, to help investors. So we see the site selection process as just the initial part of our investor relation. On that stage, we help and provide all the data that is necessary with objective information. Of course, sometimes it's public information, but we help do the number crunching or the tailoring towards the interest of the investor. There's a lot of data. We soak in data, and this day and age ever more so. But the value of it is how we process it and make it a compelling and relevant information gathering for business purposes. So that's what Cinde does. And now we have strengthened that area, focusing on true investment advisory. So we had brought on board profile of business analysts as well. So we help companies assess, for example, we go into deeper analysis, such as run P&L efforts with the information that companies have, and input, for example, what it could look like leveraging our free trade zone regime, which is part of the incentives program that Costa Rica has, to portray that on a 5-year time frame or 10-year time frame, and understand what your bottom line ROI would be on operations in the country. So those parts are completely personalized experiences on how we help companies assess that site selection. We do benchmarks as well. So we gather information from competing countries or other sites that the company might be assessing, and do it objectively as you would with any other. And all our services are completely free of charge. So that's part of a benefit that companies can get, and having the excellence behind it to do that get data gathering the most professional way.
You know, that's very valuable. Given the description that you've just given about some of the services that you provide, I know that if one goes out to private consulting agencies, maybe Ernst & Young, people of that nature, these are things that can be upward of $100,000 if you're paying companies to do that kind of research. So what you offer obviously is incredibly valuable. But beyond crunching numbers, what other things do you do?
Well, of course, that's just the beginning part of it, because once companies are assessing that on paper, it's not the same as being able to come into the country and look at things by themselves. So when they do decide to do that, we provide business agendas with either peer companies that are already operating in the country, so that they can have peer-to-peer conversations with investing companies and objectively assess that. We even provide meetings with different academia to understand, to better understand the talent pools that they're able to create, the curricula and skill sets that we are developing as for talent building. And we seem to have created a very strong network of strategic partners that help both in the understanding of what a landing into the country would be, but also once the decision is made, to be able to have the softest landing into the country. So we have right now at Cinde a network of over 83 proven partners from tons of different categories. So we have legal advisors, big firms, smaller firms, environmental agencies, which in Costa Rica is a very thorough process because we are very keen on sustainability. We have companies for helping you understand the ways around immigration or tax consultancy, HR and recruitment, even facilities. So we have firms related to architecture or office design, even furnishing. And once you're operational, we have facility management or cafeteria services. So all the things that investing companies need. We have that proven network of companies that already have worked with other multinationals and that are our partners to help that process be as streamlined, as soft as possible.
Well, again, you know, these are things that are absolutely essential to being successful in bringing companies to your locale. And one of the things that is a testament to the quality of the work that you have done is that over the past couple of decades, Costa Rica has become the second largest exporter of medical devices in Latin America. And that's a pretty impressive accomplishment for a country that's about the size of Massachusetts. So congratulations on your good work there.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a very interesting process of capacity building into the country. And if that figure on MedTech is interesting, what it most interesting is to see that we also export more services than goods. So if that MedTech figure is relevant, our services, our knowledge-intensive services are a hefty way in that mix. We're the highest per capita exporter of IT and knowledge-intensive services in the Americas. And it's interesting to see because our processes there have also been growing quite a bit. So we export cloud computing, cybersecurity, ever more so right now. So we have a combination of this creative ecosystem converging medtech, digital tech, and of course, a long-standing industry in smart manufacturing and electronics, which are bread and butter right now and in trend for maybe not all the good reasons that we would like to, but it's a global challenge, and Costa Rica is putting its part there on exporting electronics as well.
So I have one question that I'm curious about regarding electronics. We know how important microchips are to all the devices that we use on a daily basis, and there's been a shortage of silicon chips in the world, and there's concern that Taiwan is a big producer, and if whatever happened with their security were negative, we'd be in a world of hurt with regard to availability of chips. I'm just wondering, beyond Intel, are there other companies that are looking at doing that kind of activity in Costa Rica at the moment?
Of course, we have, well, Intel has the biggest mega lab of its kind outside of California. We have their R&D center here with over 900 engineers working on new development of R&D solutions for microprocessors. But we also have other companies and components such as Samtec, which is customized electronics as well. Zollner Electronics is a huge German company as well, which provides components and smart components to the auto industry, which are leveraged for the US. So Costa Rica is in itself a nearshoring example for years. It's just now becoming a more hotter topic now that the new nearshoring is taking place. But for us, nearshoring is our bread and butter. Companies come here to leverage the exports platform that we offer with the broad network of free trade agreements that we offer from here. to reach different markets. So we have had a free trade agreement with China for the last 10 years, which is not new for us, but we also have a free trade agreement with the US and the rest of Central America. And we do have it with Europe as well. So we know that we are a compact economy and that we are open to trade. And that's what we've offered a lot of the partner companies that are investing in the country.
Now, if somebody who's listening wants to get in contact with you to begin the process of exploring Costa Rica, how can individuals listening get into contact with you?
I think the best way would be through our website. We have tons of resources with every investing sector of interest. We have listed there on our website the leads, the persons that are in charge of every sector within our organization that are the specialized people for each of the sectors. So we have medtech, smart manufacturing. We're a very dynamic thing that we're doing right now is new materials. We're creating a new project with IDB on a new materials hub for Costa Rica, leveraging all the biodiversity that is in the country. So that we also are working with that health and well-being area. So you can find us on www.cinde.org, which is our website. And then for each investing sector or the contact us page, it's a more traditional. And if you can follow us, of course, in different social medias as Cinde, the Costa Rican Investment Promotion Agency, we have representation there on LinkedIn and Twitter as well.
Okay, with your permission, of course, I'd like to be able to, in the text below the box where the audio plays on our website, I'd like to put a link to your LinkedIn page. Would that be okay? Because
perfect, yes.
Somebody might want to contact you directly, and that'd be a way of doing it as well, I'd assume.
Wonderful. No, we would really appreciate that.
Well, thanks a lot for accepting the invitation to talk about what you have going in your organization as well as in your country. And we know that things will just get better for you. And we hope that you have a great rest of the day and a nice Easter season. You take Semana Santa off and enjoy the beach in Costa Rica.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's going to be a lovely few weeks ahead of us. And thanks for the invitation of having us and being able to discuss this and so much more that we can offer to investors.
Yes.
Well.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Sign up to receive the Central American Group's quarterly newsletter by visiting www.thecentralamericangroup.com.